Citizens speak out. Across the globe, people are demanding improvements that include assurances of respect for human rights and government participation as they gather in countries like Bahrain, Belarus, Egypt, Guatemala, Iraq, Libya, Palestine, Syria and Yemen.
In Belarus, the 5-year sentence imposed by a court on former presidential candidate Andrei Sannikov was denounced by European Union Foreign Policy Chief Catherine Ashton and Germany's Foreign Minister Guido Westerwelle. 4 others were also imprisoned for their participation in protests with Mr. Sannikov following presidential elections that international observers have stated were flawed.
Egyptian security forces used tear gas, rubber bullets and live ammunition on Sunday, May 15th to suppress a large group of protesters in front of the Israeli embassy, rallying in solidarity with the Palestinian cause for independence, resulting in more than 353 injuries. Associated Press also cited eyewitness reports of at least 3 deaths. On Monday, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas called for 3 days of mourning to honor the 15 people killed by Israeli forces in protests on Sunday.
UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Navi Pillay has called upon the Bahraini government to free all political prisoners immediately and to allow an independent probe into reports of severe abuse of detainees, while US-based Human Rights Watch is urging for an investigation into the deaths of activists during police custody.
Tens of thousands of Yemeni protesters on Sunday continued the momentum of calls for the resignation of longtime President Ali Abdullah Saleh. Meanwhile, Gulf Cooperation Council Secretary General Abdul Latif Al-Zayani met separately with President Saleh's party and activist leaders in an attempt to reach terms for a transition of power.
In Syria, a shelling attack by security forces killed at least 7 civilians on Sunday in Tal Khalak near the Lebanese border, as hundreds continue in attempts to flee the government's intensified crackdown on pro-democracy protests. In the town of Wadi Khaled, also near Lebanon, another Syrian woman was killed and 5 more residents wounded by gunfire.
Libyan Prime Minister Baghdadi Mahmoudi expressed the government's readiness for an immediate ceasefire on the condition that North Atlantic Treaty Organization or NATO forces holds their operations. Also on Sunday, Greece pledged to send humanitarian supplies to Benghazi, Libya, in support of the revolutionaries. On Monday, the International Criminal Court in The Hague began to prepare arrest warrants for parties involved in the country's human rights abuses.
1 Pakistani civilian and 1 Indian soldier were killed, while another 12 were wounded in clashes between their nation's security forces on the restive Kashmiri border, Monday, May 16.
As we mourn the loss of innocent lives, we pray for resolutions that bring an end to the turmoil in all nations and that citizens everywhere may live in shared equality, dignity, freedom and peace.